רחוק לגעת בשמיים, להביט ישר אל קו האופק הזוהר ממש עכשיו. The time is now, so what are you waiting for now? You know what to do, the time is now, so don't wait another minute, just go ahead and do it right now. The time is now, so what are you waiting for now? You know what to do, the time is now, so don't wait another minute, just go ahead and do it right now. The time is מה אומר לי הנר שבוער בי כל כך עמוק? מה הוא אומר? מה מסמן לי סתיו שמציץ מהחלום? מתקרב, אולי הזמן עכשיו לעוף על החיים, לרוץ הכי רחוק לגעת בשמיים, להביט ישר אל קו האופק הזוהר ממש עכשיו. The time is now, so what are you waiting for now?
Oh, yeah, it's Thursday night right here on J-Roo Radio, and it is Kishroni Hour, and I'm here with Neesim, of course. And no, there is no guest tonight. And we are going to,
The winter is guest.
Neesim, we have to get junior reporters. For those kids who want to be junior reporters, you guys are going to be able to be junior reporters. And you know what? On the Parshat hotline, my shows are on the Parshat hotline. For those who don't know, my shows are on the Parshat hotline. And, for those kids who want to be junior reporter, thousands. I'm not going to even say how much the number is because I've been hearing a lot of things that's growing my show. So I've been hearing lots of things. And, and a special surprise. I mentioned a special surprise, I should say. We are going to be announcing a raffle winner within the next few weeks. So have your radio tuned to Kishroni Hour because something special, a raffle is coming up. And you might be the winner if you answer the questions. No answer to last week's question. Yisro had 7 names. Why was one of his names Yeter? Because a parsha was added, and Yeter means addition. And thank you to that person who responded to that question because, yes, you got the correct answer, and yes, you will be entered a raffle. So, yes. And if you know the answer to this week's question, we're going to go for it. You can text it into me, 347-927-3279. And you could be into a raffle. The question is like this. You have a slave. This week's parsha talks about Evodim, slaves. You have a slave. Now, the slave goes free if you knock out a tooth. If you knock out one of the slave's teeth. Now, what type of teeth? We want to know what type of teeth do not qualify in this halacha. There's a certain set of teeth that are not into this halacha. They're not. You don't get this type of punishment for doing knocking out this teeth. Now, of course, I understand not everybody's going to have those set of teeth by the time they reach this age when they're an Eved, but yeah. If you know the answer to this question, text it into me, 347-927-3279, and you'll be entered a raffle. And please do send whatever you want, your Mazel Tov wishes. And yeah. And of course, we are looking for junior reporters. So text it in, 347-927-3279. And of course, we're going to talk about the Naki Radio. The Naki Radio is a special radio. It has many, many radio stations attached to it. And I'm suggesting right now to get it. Nisim, is it on sale right now, or we can't get it on sale?
I think yes, still in sale.
It's still on sale, so don't lose out. Anyways, back to our parsha. Boys and girls, there's something very interesting in this week's parsha. Is 53 mitzvahs in this week's parsha. Now, talking about don't believe it, this week's parsha also talks about a certain halacha, lashon hara, a big halacha, lashon hara. Let's say you have a boy. You see your friend. See, you're sitting. Shlomi sitting next to Chaim, and during a test, and Shlomi is sitting next to Chaim. Shlomi's looking at the other paper. You see, and you say, "Hey, what's going on? You cheated the test? Can't do that. That's lashon hara. You can't say that." But what about this sentence? How about like this? Now you see, of course, you tell somebody that Shlomi doesn't sit next to Ellie, because Ellie during the test, do you know what he does? He looks at the papers. Now, that's going to be lashon hara. Well, here's a little bit of a story to tell you. What do you mean it's lashon hara? It's true. Yeah, of course it's true. It's true. But that's exactly what lashon hara is. Shmelki, did you know that? Yeah, I knew that. Oh, so why did you not say it? I did. Well, Shmelki, you know, one of these days we're gonna have to do something about you. We're gonna have to do a voice changing. What's that? We're gonna have to bring in Rabbi Yitzi Earps, and he's gonna be the master of the voice changing. How about that, huh? Yeah, I like that idea. Of course you like that idea. Then you and me, we're gonna do it together. No, not me and you're gonna do it together. Me and Yitzi Earps are gonna do it together. Hey, I wanna do it too. Oh, I'm sorry. Anyways. Well, so Shmelki, if you said that Chaim shouldn't sit next to Moshe during a test, you know what that would be? That would be fun. No, that wouldn't be fun. Come on. I'm surprised in you, Shmelki. It's lashon hara if you said that. Oh boy, that's wow. That's too complex. You mean it's too complicated? Something like that. Right. It's too complex for you. Okay. All right. Listen, for you it could be complex. For me, it's not. Why? I want to hear more about that story, okay? All right. Will you sit quietly? Yeah, I'll sit right now quietly. Okay, I'm waiting. Okay. So, well, you tell Shmelly. That's not nice. You're calling somebody smelly. I did not. I said Shmelly. Oh, right. Well, that's exactly what lashon hara is. You told Shmelly, a true statement about someone, even if it were false, it would be called Moitzi Shemra. That's a special name, Moitzi Shemra. What does it mean? Well, what does it mean? It means that you're saying something false about a person. Oh, that's very bad. I don't want somebody to say something false about me. No, you wouldn't. It wouldn't be nice. Yeah, you wouldn't like it. No, I wouldn't like it either. I don't know, but some kids do know. I don't know. Sometimes it's a habit. What do you do about it then? Oh, that's a good question. What do you do about a habit? What do you do about any habit, Shmelky? I think about it and I stop. Well, there you go. There's your answer. You mean they're gonna have to stop saying lashon hara? But what if somebody can't stop? No, we're not getting realistic. You can always stop a habit. A habit, boys and girls, a habit. You can always stop a habit. Sometimes it may be very difficult, really difficult. Sometimes you can have a habit. Sometimes you can have a habit of, let's say, cheating on the middle of a test. That's lashon hara. I'm not saying anybody's name. Oh, okay. Oh, all right, good. I'm glad. You finally agreed with me. Well, now we're going to get back to this place called Don't Believe It because it's lashon hara. Anyways, so this Moitzi Shemra, when you're saying a false statement, when you're not saying something true,
I lied sometimes.
Yeah, you lie sometimes, right? But you know what? You're lying when you lie. Yeah, you're not doing it on purpose, right?
Right, it just comes out of my mouth. It just goes like,
Wow. Okay, so if it comes out of your mouth, then you got to control your mouth.
I don't like controlling my mouth.
You don't like controlling your mouth, then that's a very bad thing.
Only on radio, I don't like controlling my mouth.
Well, if you're on radio and you don't like controlling your mouth, then there's something wrong. Then I can't talk.
Well, if you can't talk, then that's good.
Well, then how can I read my stories that I have here, huh?
Oh, yeah, I want a bedtime story.
Well, so let me finish it. Anyways, so Shmelly tells Donnie and says, "Hey, that Moshe was the cheater." Well, Shmilky, I'm afraid that you fell into a trap. The Chafetz Chaim writes about this in a book called the Chafetz Chaim. Boys and girls, there's a special book called the Chafetz Chaim, and it's they make many books about it, and I believe Rabbi Yitzi Erbs and Rabbi Przanski from Wonderwords have a whole thing about it, and and there was a very good program, Wonderwords. I still listen to it, believe it or not. And anyways, well, perhaps he knew that he would not be able to believe it if he spoke up, or perhaps maybe if he's quiet, a person by nature that doesn't like to fight, or maybe to be quiet in order to receive a big bracha, not to answer back. I see, Shmelky. What's wrong with believing Lashon Hara anyway? What's wrong? Well, the Chafetz Chaim Zechrona Bracha writes about that. The source of the ulcer against Lashon Hara. It's a pasuk in this week's Parsha. Don't accept a false report.
Oh, wow, that's a false report. But wait a minute, who says it's talking about Lashon Hara?
Shmelky, you said you're not going to talk out when I'm saying a show. Well, of course that's referring to Lashon Hara, right? Because something that's not true is not Lashon Hara. Something that's not true is called Moitzi Shemra, which is worse. So...
Oh, so how do you know?
Because I just said, if you're saying... Well, first of all, if somebody's saying false this, then that's considered as Moitzi Shemra.
Oh, no.
Right. You wouldn't want to fall into that trap.
Wow.
Wow is right. Well, the Chafetz Chaim says that the punishment for believing Lashon Hara is worse than for speaking it. So, if there were no listener, there would be no speaker. So, boys and girls, if you don't listen to me, then I won't be speaking.
That's gonna be funny.
Shmelky, come on. Honestly, if I wouldn't be speaking, then you wouldn't have a show here.
Well, oh, okay, so continue.
Well, honesty. How can you believe these things? Does the Chafetz Chaim give any advice? Of course he does, Shmelky.
That's not nice. You're saying my name.
Oh, you don't like your name? Okay, I'll say Beryl. Oh, don't say my name. Oh, no. Nobody likes when I say their name. All right, I'll just use a random name. Purim. Anybody's name Purim?
No.
Okay, so then I can say it. Well, he sure does, Purim. Someone who spoke Lashon Hara violated Usher. Don't be a talebearer. A talebearer is somebody who says Lashon Hara. So goes around saying, this person did that, and that person did that, and that.
And why she's here talking on the radio?
Hey, Shmelky, come on, I want to finish.
Well, if you get to my age, then you're never gonna finish.
Well, that's why I don't have you usually in studio.
Oh. You have to have me more often.
Why?
Because then you're not gonna have listeners if you don't have me.
Oh, okay. Well, now, if this person spoke Lashon Hara, how can you trust him to tell the truth? We see that it's not if someone's not careful. If someone's not careful about telling Lashon Hara, we can't assume that he's careful about the avera of lying. So maybe he's gonna exaggerate, right? Wow, Purim, you have sure opened my eyes. What should I do if someone begins speaking Lashon Hara to me? What do I do about that? Boys and girls, what do you think? What should somebody do if someone is going to talk bad about someone else to you? What should you do? Well, let's find out. If someone's going to tell you something about someone else and it's not a good thing, well, ask him before he begins. Does this subject, is this thing applying to me? Is this thing to me? Is there something that I can help? Well, if the answer is no, then it's an awesome thing to hear. Wow, thank you so much, Purim. You really know about the Lashon Hara laws very well. Well, that is because I study them every day. They are complicated and need constant review. You need boys and girls, you always have to review. We're not only talking about Chavetz Chaim's farm here. We're talking about everything. You always have to review. The most important thing is to review when you're young. Because when you get older and you review, you can review till 1,000 times. And you're not going to get it as good as you're young. So the more you learn and chazer when you're young, the older you are when you get older, you're going to remember them so much better. Anyways. Story station. Here, you ready? Shmelky, you ready for the story? As the train went on for kilometer after kilometer, Rav Shmuel Weinberg of Slonim, the author of Divrei Shmuel, well, he had a lot of Hasidim, and he was in his thoughts. He was on the train. Well, the train stopped one station, by another station, and by another station. A pards got on. The landowner departs, gazed over at the wagon, and came to the rest on the seat. The one besides the rabbi's attendant, who sat right behind the rabbi, ready to respond to the Chacham's request. The landowner sat down. The pards sat down, straightened his bones, and turned to the rabbi. Who is this man sitting in front of us? And why is he surrounded by so many people? Oh, he's a rabbi, came the reply. A rabbi, the part said. I too am the grandson of a rabbi. Now, boys and girls, it really doesn't help to be a grandson of a rabbi if you're not going to follow the laws of halacha. This part, he's saying, yeah, I'm a grandson of a rabbi, but you know what? You could be a grandson of a rabbi, but you're not a rabbi. And you know what, Kinderlach? Every child could become a Rebbe. Everyone can have Hasidim. Like I'm here right now in Jeru Radio. I know Nisim has a lot of Hasidim over here. And believe me. No, Nisim, no? Not true?
I don't know.
Nisim is being a very big... Anyways, back to the story.
Shmulky,
Hey, that's you, Shmulky. Why are you saying your name?
I wanted you to continue the story.
Yeah, please continue. All right, Beryl, you asked so nicely, of course. Well, the Hasidim all moved aside to make room for the big parts. This astonishing statement, uttered loudly to the shock of all the passengers, had reached the ears of the rabbi himself. Rabbi Weinberg turned around in his seat and lovingly addressed the parts. That is so, sir. If your grandfather was a rabbi and my grandfather was a rabbi, then come sit right next to me. The Hasidim all moved aside to make room for the landowner, and he proudly took his seat right next to the rabbi. So, as you can see from right now, what I'm seeing, I mean, I didn't read the whole story yet. I mean, of course, I read the whole story before I typed it, but I didn't read the whole story yet right now. So, it seems like to me that this part likes to be a Balgaiva. Well, we'll find out what happens. Well, in a kindly manner, the Rebbe asked about his ancestors. The landowner considered himself a grandson of Reb Meir, the son of the Rebbe of Berditchev. He was proud of his heritage, despite the fact that he lived a life far removed from the Taradika roots. A physician from Tsar Nikolai, it was already 40 years, he told the rabbi, since a pair of tefillin had passed through his hands. I'm reminded of an interesting story about your great-grandfather, said the rabbi. Would you like to hear it? A story? Why not? The landowner's interest was very he got so interested, and the rabbi told the story. Well, each night Yankel would drag himself home drunk. And he would obviously when somebody's drunk, it's not a good thing because when you're drunk, you can't control your actions. So sometimes, let's say, Purim is drunk.
That's funny because on Purim you do get drunk.
Well, you're right. Purim, we do get drunk, but that's why I'm naming it Purim. Well, let's say you have Purim and he comes home drunk. And Purim gets drunk. Now, you know what? He can't control himself. He'll sometimes yell, and you know what? He won't even realize what he's doing. So, yes, Kinderlich, drinking on Purim is a mitzvah, and it's not Purim yet, but we're getting pretty close to Purim. And Purim is, I believe, 5 weeks away. It's almost Adar Aleph. It's almost Adar Aleph this week, Tuesday and Tuesday night, I believe, into Wednesday is going to be Purim.
No, it's not. It's going to be Adar Aleph.
That's right, Adar Aleph. Very good. I'm glad you're listening, Schmelke. That's unbelievable that you're listening. And boys and girls, yes, Adar Aleph is coming up. And yes, Adar is a day of Simcha. It's a day that we are always, even on Tisha B'Av, you know what? Tisha B'Av, even a Tisha B'Av, a person should not be giving up hope. Tisha B'Av is a day about hope, not about losing your simcha. You're always, a Yid is always supposed to be happy.
What? Even not Tisha B'Av on Santa's Day of the Year?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. How could somebody be happy on Tisha B'Av? Well, you see, on Tisha B'Av, it's a day of hope. We're supposed to cry. Yes, we're supposed to cry, not because we're sad. We're supposed to cry because we don't have the Beis HaMikdash yet. We're supposed to cry that, please, Hashem, make the Beis HaMikdash. It's a hope. You're hoping.
Oh, geez. So next time I cry, I should hope. Oh boy, that's interesting.
Yeah. Anyways, each night, Yankel would drag himself home drunk, and after sitting all day long, and he stealing, and he stole away every penny, and drinking one glass of whiskey after another, his feet would hardly agree to carry him through the twisted streets of Berditchev. One night, he met the great tzaddik Rav Levi Yitzchak of Berditchev. Ah, Yankel, the rabbi said kindly. How I am jealous of you. Yankel's eyes widened. Me? You're jealous of me? Is there anything about me to be jealous about? I mean, come on. What do I have already? Yes, Yankel, said the rabbi, warmly pumping his head. Our Chacham says that when a person repents, when does tshuva, his sins, his averos get turned into merits. When you will repent with all your heart and return to the ways of your fathers, then your merit is going to be so much. You'll be standing on a much higher level than me. Ah, Rabbi, Yankel spat out. If that is so, it pays to wait another year. And then the rabbi will be able to be jealous of me a lot more, since my averos will grow. Now, you know what? That was the very, very, I think, very silly thing for Yankel to say. And boys and girls, if you're listening to this, that Yankel saying that I'll wait another year to do tshuva, a person should never, ever, ever wait to do tshuva. Because if a person is going to wait to do tshuva, you don't know when you're going to be the last day. Every day should be counted as the day that day is very important. Like right now, this hour is very important to me. And yes, boys and girls, if you're listening,
we're always listening.
Yeah. Well, I don't mean you boys, but I'm talking to the girls also. Well, I'm also listening. Oh, Shandel, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the other girls and boys over the radio. Can we see them? No, we can't see the other side. Why? Because you don't want to see them right now, because it's going to be embarrassing.
That's not going to be so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's not going to be so embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, maybe it will.
Anyways, back to the story, shall we?
Okay.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's a very good idea.
Ah, Rabbi Yankel said. So Yankel told the rabbi, I'll wait another year. And so Yankel was drunk and he made fun of the Rebbe's speech. But the Rebbe really tried to get him to come back to tshuva. Well, one day he got sick.
Oh no, the Rebbe got sick.
No, not the Rebbe got sick. Yankel was sick.
Yankel was sick. What did he have?
Well, it doesn't say what he had in the book that I read, but it does say he got sick.
Oh, Refuah Shalema, Yankel.
Ugh. Well, I don't know. The story happened a long time ago. It happened with the Bedicheva Rebbe.
Oh, well then happy, then enjoy your Mamba.
Well, I don't know. I mean, yeah, I guess. Anyways, while Yankel lay in bed, and he was very weak, his wife ran to the Bedicheva Rebbe, and with tears, asked him to come to the husband. Yankel's rabbi spoke kindly to the patient when he arrived. You always delayed any thoughts of change for another year. What about now? Yankel said, there's something I want to tell you, Rabbi. Those eyes, Rabbi, those furious eyes of the parts keep floating before me. He was obviously very weak, but there was a big determination in his eyes. In the beginning, when I rented my little inn from the parts, it was nice and neat. Then, as I started drinking and trying to get more money, the windows broke. Now, boys and girls, if a window breaks in and you're an innkeeper, and, since he didn't notice them, so his business fell apart. So that's how he became so like this. And so it never entered my mind to repair them. Well, one winter morning, while the parts was out hunting into the woods, the Shemayim suddenly opened and a thunderstorm erupted. My landlord, my parts who came in, suddenly noticed his inn and hurriedly steered his horse in this direction, relishing its cozy and warm interior. You can imagine how angry he became when he set his eyes on the terrible condition of the inn, entirely exposed to the elements like an open invitation for the rain. Of course, the landlord demanded an explanation. And why? What could I tell him? I threw myself at his feet.
You threw himself at his seat?
No, at his feet.
Oh.
My dear sir, I cried bitterly. This is the innkeeper. This is Yankel talking. Did I know that it would rain like this? A terrible cry escaped Yankel's throat. In a voice weak from pain and anguish, he turned to Rebbe. Those eyes, Rabbi, those fierce eyes of the parts keep floating before me, and his words leave me without peace. They keep calling, demanding, going into deeper in my neshama, like so many swords. Didn't you realize he had ills? Didn't you think that in the end that would come when you have to answer for your neglectful behavior, when you have bad behavior? So, Kinderlach, here it is. This is unbelievable. That the Yankel is saying he felt this in his bones all the time. That it was penetrating in him all the time. That don't you know that you're gonna have to pay for your terrible behavior, Kinderlach? Sometimes we don't realize that we're acting in a way that's not appropriate. That's not a nice way of acting. And yeah, and in the meantime, right now it's not a nice thing that I'm here talking because, I might be Gezel Shena.
Gezel what?
Gezel Shena.
What's Gezel Shena?
Well, Gezel Shena is when I'm stealing somebody's sleep.
Who's sleeping?
Well, how do you know? Maybe I'm sleep talking, huh?
That's a good one. Sleep talking. I heard of sleepwalking. I did not hear of sleep talking.
Well, okay. Well, now you did.
Yeah, really? Sleep talking?
Of course not. How could I sleep talk? If I would be sleep talking, I wouldn't be thinking, would I?
That's a good answer. Anyway, can you go back to the story? Because I'm getting so nervous of what's going to happen.
Well, we'll find out, won't we?
You know, time passed by so quickly.
Really? Did you look at your watch?
Yes, what time was it?
Hey, why did you ask the question to yourself?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I ask the question now?
Yeah,
Why are you talking while I'm saying the story?
because I didn't want you to do Gezel Shana.
Okay, very good. Anyways,
I did look at my watch. It's 7:33.
well, how about the weather? Did you look at the weather today?
Well, the weather was very cold today, and I believe it's going to start getting warmer.
Yeah, it is gonna start getting warmer. Bezes Hashem Yisbarach.
Yeah, and it's going to be nice and warm, and I'm going to be able to cozy up.
Well, the weather's always nice.
But today was very bitter.
No, Chas v'shalom. Today was a terrific weather. What do you mean? Today's weather was unbelievable. It was nice. It was the mamish good creation today. Gets rid of all the germs.
Yeah, well, what about the people who walk around with shorts in this weather? Now what?
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think?
I think
Wait a minute, Shmelky. You're getting me out of my topic here. I'm in the middle of a story, and you're coming to discuss the weather? I mean, what does weather have to do with the story?
because I was just realizing that after you leave the radio station, you're gonna have to walk in the cold.
Yeah, well, you know what? Last night was much colder.
Really?
Yeah, of course.
I wasn't out last night.
No, well, I hope not. You were probably sleeping in bed, right?
Yeah, I was. I was nicely tucked in
Nicely tucked in. And by who, of course?
by my mommy.
Well, very nice. That's terrific. Well, Beryl, what do you have to say? Tucked in. Huh? That reminds me of a good joke. Well, let's hear it later, okay? Okay, I'll tell you the joke later. Anyways, back to my story, right? Everybody agrees?
Yes, everybody agrees.
Okay, so we're gonna go back. Well, and as the cries of this dying person that the Yankala,
Oh, poor Yankele is dying.
well, and as the cries of he's crying deep, he's crying deeply because he's doing shuva. The Rebbe of Sloan concluded the story. The B'divcheva Rebbe himself testified that Yankel the drunk left the world with a big, big tshuva. The wealthy part sat. Wow, he sat silenced. He didn't know what to say. He was stuck. What could he say? It was such an unbelievable story. Really unbelievable story that in 1 second somebody did tshuva and he was zeicha to Olam Haba like that. It's unbelievable. Well, but he didn't say anything. And when the Rebbe removed his tefillin from his pouch and merely extended his arm and watched as the rabbi put the straps around the parts, and when the Rebbe offered him the tefillin as a gift, he didn't say no. He took it. Years later, the Rebbe's attendant was traveling when an elderly man approached him. "Do you remember me?" he asked. The attendant studied the person above the white beard, but couldn't quite make out who he was. "No, sir, I don't remember you. I honestly don't remember you." "Well," the stranger said, "do you remember many years back when a landowner at Parshat sat next to you on a train and the Rebbe invited me to sit next to him? I am that Parshat whose heart Rabbi Weinberg kindled all those years ago on the seat beside him. The Rebbe's tefillin stoked the embers into a fire of flames that illuminated the way to return to my ways."
Wow, that was some story.
Yeah, Kindlech, from the story you learn out, there's always a chance. No matter how down you go, there's always a chance to return.
Really? Well, what happens if
Well, you should just know, many, many years ago,
I remember.
You do? Well, it was many years ago. You're not more than 8 years old. How can you remember anything?
Because, oh, by the way, you have to speak more quieter.
Why do I gotta speak more quieter?
Because you're going to be doing Gazel Shena.
No, we're not stealing anybody's sleep. Even though it looks like that somebody is sleeping, but sometimes people look like they're sleeping. They're really up and they're listening.
Oh, really? So when I'm putting my head down in class and my eyes are closed, that means I'm listening. I could tell my Rebbe, right?
Well, Shmelky, if you're putting your head down and you're going to put your head down and close your eyes, obviously you're not listening.
Oh,
Well, can I continue to my next story? What do you say, Burrow? Shandel, I didn't hear from you a long time. Oh, women don't speak on the radio. That's true. Women don't speak on the radio. So therefore, I'm going to have to continue on with my next story. How long is your next story? Because I want to go home. Shandel, we're going to have a while till we go home. We're going to have the bitter cold.
yeah, I feel bad for you. You're going to have to walk in the cold.
Well, you know what? I'll tell you something very interesting. Sometimes when it's cold, it's a good thing.
What does that mean?
Well, sometimes it's cold, right? Like, let's say the winter times, it's dark. It gets dark early. It gets dark early. And, sometimes it gets depressing that it's so dark. You have a long night. You don't know what to do with yourself.
So what do you do yourself?
I'm getting to that part. Well, when it's a long night, as a matter of fact, in mishpotim, this week's parsha is mishpotim. As boys and girls, as you know, what does mishpotim talk about? Laws. So it would be a good idea when in the winter time to learn about the laws, the dinim, about different things.
For example, give us an example.
Oh, of course, I'm going to give an example. Let's say,
I know what you're going to say next.
okay, what am I going to say next?
I'm going to say next that you're a good boy.
Oh no, I'm not going to say that.
No?
Well, first of all, I'm not a boy. That's number one because I'm already, a radio host, so I can't be a boy.
Well, boys can be radio hosts like me.
Yeah, I can also be a radio host. Well, you can't be a radio host because you have to prepare, and in order to prepare, it takes a lot of time. Now, Kindle don't have too much time to prepare stuff. Who says? Kids can always make time. Oh, that's true. There you go. You stole my point. Ouch! What happened? You said point. Oh, I don't mean a needle. Come on. Oh, why is everything here that I say is ouch?
Because last week you said hit.
No, last week I did not say hit. That was 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Well, can I continue on my story? What do you say? Beryl, can I continue? Yeah, continue. Okay. So, as I said before, this week's parsha talks about mishpotim.
Are you going to take long?
Well, I have 20 minutes left, and if you don't let me finish, I'm going to go overtime.
Don't go overtime.
Okay, so don't let me finish. So, Kindlech, this week's parsha's mishpotim.
Continue.
I am. I'm trying. Will you stop interrupting me every 5 seconds?
Okay, I'm not going to be quiet.
Well, if you're not going to be quiet, then I can't finish. Okay. Well, okay. So here we go. This week's parsha talks about Parshat Mishpatim. Now, Parshat Mishpatim talks about, what does Parshat Mishpatim talk about, Beryl? I'm sure you learned it in school today. Yeah, Parshat Mishpatim talks about avodim, talks about slavery, talks about lashon hara, talks about lying, talks about hitting. Oh, what did you just say? Talks about what? Hitting. That's right. It talks about hitting. It talks about lashon hara. And it talks about, so study these dinim. Study about, sometimes even a bad word could be a hit, could be considered a hit, a punch, a hurt. It hurts. It's like a slap.
Wait a minute. But what about Musser? Musser also is like a slap.
Well, that's true, but Musser is a different type of a slap. Musser is a slap like you're giving it because you love the person. But if I'm just saying lashon hara about someone, I'm not loving anybody. I'm just saying something bad about someone because That's just coming out of my mouth without thinking.
Oh. Wow.
Well, anyways, my next story. Nisim over here is getting very tired. He wants to go home.
Yeah, I also want to go home.
But Nisim is really listening to all the speeches that's being said because he's going to have to say it over soon.
Okay. Can I say it over for him?
You know, Nisim had a hard day today, you know?
Well, what did he do?
Well, he does contracting and he's doing a lot for the Yiddish world about Jeru Radio, you know? And Kindlech, just for those who are listening right now, special announcement. As I said before, there is going to be a raffle in a few weeks. And yes, Kindlech, I'm going to make it clear right now that we are soon going to start with Jeru Radio. We're going to start having winter hats. The way it's going to work is you are going to donate $30 or more. You get that little hat.
I don't want a little hat.
Oh, you don't want a little hat? What do you want? What type of a hat do you want?
I want a nice hat.
Well, what type of a hat do you want?
I want a winter hat,
You do want a winter hat.
but I don't want it small.
Well, we could try to make every size. Now, Kindlech, anybody who's listening, Kindlech, you could tell your mommy, you could tell your tati that they can donate. For more info on how to donate to Jeru, you can text in 347-927-8398. It's not my number this time, okay? It's the number for the Jeru radio station. Or you can call 718-683-5858. And Nisim will give you more info. But I'm telling you right now, the way it's going to work, if you're going to donate $30 or more, and you don't have to do it yet because we didn't get the caps yet. But once we get the caps, we are going to ask you guys if you can please donate $30. And with that $30 that you're donating, not only are you doing a mitzvah and keeping the station awake, alive, up and running, and other kind words, and if you're going to donate that much money, $30 or more, you could get this nice cap. And we're going to even think about making a DVD about, let's say I had a magician on. And when I had the magician on, you'll be able to see the magician doing magic tricks. Or when I had that scientist person on. Or when I had Eli Melech Adler on, playing so many instruments and on. Instruments at once, you are going to be able to see that live. Now, boys and girls, I know you might say, oh, what's the point of that? We could see you sometimes online. Well, no, but you know what? Here, you can always keep the CD. You won't have to look for the video with the magician. You'll have the video of the magician. You'll have the video of the scientist guy. Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be very, I'm hoping everybody donates $30 or more will get you that CD, that DVD, and the hat.
Well, who's sponsoring the hat?
Well, that we're going to ask everybody. Whoever wants to sponsor, of course, for the hat and for the lovely cap and for the lovely DVDs, please text me or Nisim at 347-927-8398. That's the radio's number. That's the radios have number? Yes, radios have number. Can you believe that, Shmelky? Radios have number?
No, I can't believe it. I thought radio you talk on.
Well, radio you do talk on, but you know what? Sometimes people want to, let's say, give money. Sometimes people want to, talk to somebody on the radio. Then what do you do?
Well, you have to call up.
Aha. So how do they call up?
They call 718-683-5858.
That's right. And you know what? Boys and girls, anybody who's listening, if you call up right now or text in right now, and Nisim tells me at the end of the show that you texted or called, then you will be entered a raffle. And this has nothing to do with the Parsha answering. You won't even have to answer a Parsha question. But answering a Parshat question would be nice. I would love to hear. Also, I would also love to hear what you think about the show.
I don't want them to think what they know about the show. They're gonna make fun of me.
Well, they're not going to make fun of you. So, anyways, can I continue my next story, or we're going to have to end over here?
Now continue.
Well, as a young bar mitzvah boy, Reb Shimon was taken to the Stans by his Rebbe, Reb Yehuda Zechron Bracha, to spend the Yom Tov Shavuos in an elevated atmosphere, in a high atmosphere, in the court of the Divrei Chaim of Stans. Now, the Divrei Chaim of Stans was a great tzaddik, a big tzaddik. And yeah. Well, so what happened? That year, as always, they had a Milchig Kiddush on Yom Tov
Why did they have milichiks?
because it was Shavuos. Shavuos is a minhag to have a Milchig Suda.
Why?
Well, I guess when it gets closer to Shavuos, we'll find out.
You're not giving away any answers?
Nope, I'm not giving away any answers. Boys and girls, if you know why we eat a Milchig Kiddush, why we eat milchiks on Shavuos, why there's a minhag of eating milchiks on Shavuos, please text it in to 347-927-3279, and you will be entered the raffle to win either
A Naki radio?
or either a CD or either a
I don't know. What else?
well, I don't know. You tell me what else. What else can I raffle off?
Oh, a CD from Mostly Music.
That's correct. Anyways, the young Bacher Shimon Greenfield squeezed his way in until he found himself by the Rebbe's chair. He listened to the Rebbe's speech until he suddenly could no longer contain himself. Bursting with a passion for Torah, he spoke up and asked the question. When the Divrei Chaim finished speaking, he turned around to the brilliant boy and asked him to repeat his question. Before the amazed eyes of the assembled, the Divrei Chaim spent the next long hour enjoying a Torah talk with the newcomer, Rav Shimon. So, yeah, that was Rav Shimon. Well, another story.
Where do you get these stories from?
Well, I guess I get them from somewhere. I read them.
You like reading?
Well, obviously, if I didn't like reading, I wouldn't be doing a show.
Why are you reading from a computer? Why don't you talk from outside?
Well, I do talk from outside sometimes. Like right now, I'm right now not talking from inside the computer.
No, you're not talking from inside the computer, but you're looking inside the computer.
No, I'm not looking inside the computer. If I'd be looking inside the computer, I'd be lifting up the computer to see what's in there. Well, can I continue my story, Shmulky? Because Shmulky, you keep on disturbing me, and you know what? This story is very important.
Why?
Because sometimes stories can explain. Sometimes stories are nishalim.
What's a nimshal?
Well, a nimshal, boys and girls, a nimshal is a thing, a little parable to a story. Meaning, let's say if I made about let's say, well, we're going to talk about this week's Parshat right now because the time is running away, and I do have lots of things to say. So, Shmelky, don't disturb, okay? We're going to try to finish this. And the Yeshua of the Marshag, the Bachrim were serious lamdunim. What's lamdunim? Well, they're serious. They were into it, and they were big Yerushalayim. And one time, a group of boys came to join the Yeshua. These were not the shtetl Bachrim, but from a big city, and their behavior was not like the rest of the yeshiva. About a month afterwards, some of the Bachrim came into Rav Shimon and suggested him to rebuke the people. The Beinu's reply was in the form of a story that he heard from the Rav of Klinvarden, Rabbi Avram Yitzchak Weinberger. When the Yidden were given permission to buy land and property in their own right, under their own names, a lot of shaylas came up. A heter mechira lenachri b'Shabbos, meaning you had to give heter mechira, meaning selling it to a guy on Shabbos. Various people in the community did not do like this halacha. And the Rav tried to tell them. His words, however, went unheard. Rabbi Avram Yitzchak noticed that those questions were Hasidim of the Atar Tzvi of Zidduchov, and he decided to give the case over to the Rebbe. Having made the journey once without seeing any results, Rabbi Avram Yitzchak tried again. This time he told the Alter Rebbe, perhaps you should punish them by taking them out of your Hasidus, and then they'll learn the lesson. The Alter Rebbe calmed down the angry, the Rav who's upset of Clint Vernon. Every leader of our generation has his own unique task to fulfill. The general aim is to make people to do tshuva and to come closer to Hashem, but each one's strength it lies in a different place. My power, continued Tzvi, lies in the tefillah. If there's someone who has went far away, I make sure he hears my davening of Hakol Yuducha. If that doesn't turn his heart back, I can do nothing else for him. Well, finishing the mashal, Rav Shimon encouraged his Talmidim. Our entire power lies in the force of limud. Our forces of learning. You must learn with all steigkeit, with all bren, with all fiery. There's a story with one of the Nasiim in the olden times by the Tanaim that he had once a fire burning around the house. So, that fire came from because he was so halig. How do you think a tzaddik became halig, boys and girls? A tzaddik becomes halig. He became halig by doing the right thing, by thinking before he did stuff, by learning steiging, by not like steiging like steiging, but like steiging like putting his head means like, what does this word mean? What does this word mean? What does this word mean? And each and every word he pounded upon. He could write 300 things on it because he studied each and every word. To him was precious like a gold. Anyways, that's the nimshal over here. Now we're gonna say a different story. Two more stories, and we're gonna call it a good Shabbos. During the First World War, World War I, many Yiddish men were drafted in front to the army, never to be heard of after that. Well, after the war, there was a lot of problems with agonis because a lot of women had no idea where their husbands were. Well, there was this Rav, he took upon himself the Koyach HaTorah to free about 300 of those widows. Now, a while later, while resting at a health resort, Rav Shimon met the great Paisik Rav Shmuel Engel. The Rav laid down the principal rulings and the Paiskim concerning giving the heter of the Targonis. Rav Shmuel says that the Paiskim, his heter is not really readily understood. The halacha continued well into the night. The next morning, Rav Shmuel came towards Rav Shimon with a smile of agreement. He said, last night a Talmud of yours described to me how you had sat for days and nights, stretching into weeks and months of learnings of sugya concerning agonis, and through all the Yigiyah, you came to your Chadushim. I'm certain, said Rav Shmuel, that after such learning, your words can't be easily, you can't be argued on. Such a psak is surely correct. So, again, this is teaching us that you should always be into your learning. Like Nisim over here, he's always so much into his learning over here. He's right now he's mamish. He's unbelievable. He's looking over there on the sefer over there that he has over there. Luckily, nobody sees him right now. But yeah, he has the sefer out, and he's learning, and he's listening to every word I'm saying, and he's it makes a big rosham on him. What does a rosham mean? A rosham means an impression. But do you know this last story I'm gonna say? And off we're gonna go. Where are we going to? Well, I'm gonna be going home. Hey, I also want to go home. Well, right. Well, in 4 minutes you'll be going home. Isn't that exciting, Shmelky? Yeah. Well, so can you let me finish up? So another story. Well, the every action of the Torah halacha midas that he led. Rav Shimon's Talmud, that Torah's Moshe of Markova related that once Rav Shimon showed him 7 rayos to one question. There were 7 proofs to one question. However, on committing it, putting it down on paper, the Markova noted that his Rebbe had only written 3 proofs. He asked Rav Shimon if maybe this other raya was somebody. How? I'll tell you how I answered. I answered a tshuva and halacha. First, I'm concerned about giving a feeling of inferiority to the Rav who asked, and a question to which he had no answer. I bring 7 proofs. Second, I want to show the Rav about replying to the matter of the Rabbanon. If I give 7 rayas, they'll think that for every Rabbanon, they'll need so many proofs. In truth, 3 are enough. Wow. Well, we're gonna do this last line, and yeah, and I think I did exactly enough. Because if I would have ended a little earlier, I would have nothing to say. Oh, I tell you, Schmalky, you take over my schmo.
You take over my schmo? That's not nice.
No, you take over my show sometimes.
Okay.
On Erev Shabbos Hanukkah, Rav Shimon reported an interesting thing to a Talmud of his. Lately, I noticed something strange. Yesterday, a wealthy Yid came to me and poured out his worries that he had. He was on the verge of going bankrupt, having no money, and was afraid that if he would publicize this, his debitors would immediately pounce on him, would go to him without hesitating. I took the money that I had put together to the printing of my farm and gave him the entire sum. Similarly, before Rosh Hashanah, a really poor person came to me with an urgent plea to save his family from starvation, and I gave all I had. I feel that from Hashem, that heaven, they are trying to give me the extra merit of tzedakah, something I've been unable to do all my life. Perhaps they want me to come to Bezdin Shalmala, having fulfilled his mitzvah properly. Rav Shimon did not elaborate, but 7 weeks later, on the 19th of Shvat, his words were recalled and understood, for on that day he died. He passed away onto the next world, having fulfilled the mitzvahs properly. Parsha question: a slave goes free if his master knocks out 1 set of teeth. What set of teeth don't qualify for this halacha? The answer will be, of course, next week. And if you know the answer, please text it into me, 347-927-3279, to be entered a raffle. Sponsorship is available, and to advertise, please email me, newkishronihour@gmail.com, or text me at 347-927-3279. This has been the Kishroni Hour. Official
Anytime
Schechter,
for
follow
everyone.
me. Next,
This
don't
is
go away.
jrootradio.com.
For over 15 years, Mountain Fruit has been the preferred grocery for the discerning kosher consumer, providing meat, fish, and produce departments.